I'm Emma. Today I'm going to talk about why your brain rejects boring tasks. If you can't watch the video right now, just keep listening closely because the real value is in the insights. So, let me ask you something. Why is it so easy to spend 3 hours scrolling on your phone, but almost impossible to spend 30 minutes on that boring report, assignment, or spreadsheet? You know it's important. You know you'll feel guilty later if you don't do it. And yet somehow your brain keeps finding excuses. Here's the truth. It's not laziness. It's not a character flaw. It's not because you're weak. It's because your brain is wired to reject boredom. And unless you learn how to work with this wiring instead of against it, you'll stay trapped in a cycle of procrastination, guilt, and frustration. Why your brain hates boring tasks. Your brain has a built-in reward system that runs on a chemical called dopamine. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure, but that's not entirely true. Dopamine is about anticipation. It motivates you to seek rewards, chase novelty, and pay attention to things that feel exciting or potentially rewarding. Now here's the problem. Boring tasks don't give your brain that dopamine rush. So what happens? Your brain rejects the task. Not consciously, but subconsciously. It pushes you toward anything that feels more stimulating. Your phone, social media, a snack, even cleaning your desk suddenly looks exciting compared to the task at hand. This isn't weakness. This is neurobiology. Your brain is designed to avoid mental pain, and boredom is a form of pain. The cost of living in avoidance. But here's the dark side. Every time you give in, every time you escape into distractions, you're reinforcing the habit. Your brain learns, when I feel bored, I get rewarded with something fun. And the boring task becomes even harder next time. The cost isn't just wasted time. It's energy drain, stress, and self-doubt. You end the day tired not because you worked too much, but because you fought a battle with yourself all day. You carry guilt like a backpack of stones. How to outsmart your brain. Now here's the good news. You can work with your brain instead of against it. Let's dive into strategies that are backed by psychology and proven in real life. 1. Shrink the task until it's unscary. Your brain rejects boring tasks partly because they feel endless. So make them ridiculously small. Tell yourself, I'll just write one sentence. I'll just clean for 5 minutes. I'll just open the document. Why does this work? Because starting is the hardest part. Once you break the seal, momentum kicks in. Often you'll end up doing more. But even if you don't, you've still succeeded. This is called the minimum viable effort trick. Lower the entry cost until your brain can't say no. Second, use dopamine to your advantage. If boring tasks don't give you dopamine, add it yourself. Pair the task with something rewarding. For example, work on your task while listening to music you love. Promise yourself a small reward after 20 minutes of focus. Turn the task into a challenge. Can I beat my record from yesterday? This is called temptation bundling. You attach pleasure to pain until your brain learns to tolerate it. Third, work in bursts, not marathons. Your brain isn't built for endless focus. Use short sprints, 25 minutes of deep work, 5 minutes break. This is the Pomodoro technique, and it works because your brain can endure boredom in short bursts. And here's the magic. When you give yourself permission to stop after 25 minutes, your resistance drops. Most people find that once they start, they naturally extend the session. Fourth, reframe the task's meaning. Sometimes boredom is just a story. If you see your task as pointless, of course it feels dull. But what if you reframe it? Ask, how does this connect to my bigger goals? Who benefits from me doing this? What pain will I avoid by finishing this now? Purpose transforms boredom into meaning. It doesn't make the task fun, but it makes it worthwhile, and that's often enough. Fifth, use environment as a silent force. Your brain takes cues from your surroundings. If your desk screams distraction, with your phone buzzing, notifications popping, snacks within reach, you've lost the battle before it started. Change your environment to reduce resistance. Sixth, train boredom tolerance. Here's the deeper work. Boredom itself isn't dangerous. It's just discomfort. But if you always run from it, you stay weak. Start building your boredom tolerance. For example, try sitting in silence for 5 minutes without reaching for your phone. Or do a simple repetitive task, mindfully noticing your thoughts. Over time, your nervous system learns, I can handle boredom, and suddenly those tasks stop feeling unbearable. Now here's the big reframe. Boring tasks aren't your enemy, they're your ally. Why? Because boring tasks are often the foundation of extraordinary results. So instead of asking, how do I avoid boring tasks? Start asking, how can I build strength by doing them? Boredom becomes training. Resistance becomes growth, your action plan. Let's put this into a simple plan you can start today. 1. Pick one task you've been avoiding. 2. Shrink it down to a laughably small first step. 3. Set a 25-minute timer. 4th, remove distractions from your environment. 5. Reward yourself immediately after finishing. Do this once and you'll feel relief. Do this daily and you'll retrain your brain. Your brain isn't broken. You're not lazy. You're human. And humans are wired to avoid boredom. But you have something more powerful than wiring: awareness, strategy, and choice. That one shift will transform your relationship with work, productivity, and even yourself. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What boring task have you been putting off lately? Share it in the comments, and let's hold each other accountable. And if this resonated with you, subscribe.